right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Over the Bar. My name is Adeoye Salem. All right, this week, all of the footballing world will stop for a bit. That will be on Wednesday. And why will they stop? It's just because Arsenal will be traveling to the Bernabeu, and as it is, Real Madrid, the promising and eye waters for Arsenal. And rumors have it that Real Madrid have said that they will lock the Santiago Bernabeu and seal the roof because they have that's how the stadium was built, the opportunity to seal the roof. But then I'm asking myself, if you seal the roof, are you going to seal the field of play, or are you going to make sure that Arsenal players forget how to play football? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this morning I have today in the studio I have made two people who don't like to see eye to eye. One is an Arsenal fan, the other, of course, is a Manchester United fan. One is second on the log, the other is struggling and dangling and tilting and swinging between 13, 14, like the popular spanner in the mechanics workshop. Anyway, gentlemen, how are you all doing?
I'm fine.
Why are you first? I mean, first greet.
No,
second,
I understand
give
now.
am bros now. As second, so making us do first, the later.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
I know why he said I should go first.
Why?
I understand. Recently, like yesterday, I understand what happened to us. So I believe that's why he said I should go first. Well, no Lily, no one now.
Is sympathizing with
sympathizing with people. They flogged us for one sympathize.
Well,
Why are you sympathizing?
I don't know if it should feel sorry for you because Arsenal too have fell flat to Newcastle this season.
No man thing.
Newcastle just wipe it very.
Anybody, we don't jump on like 6 times on a row like this. May God help us. And one thing is Newcastle is always lucky. Is it that we have an important match or we have injury problem and we'll face Newcastle?
Wait, what important match do you have?
Leon is coming to Old Trafford to.
If it's about Leon, I think you should cover your eyes in shame.
Why? How?
Your word there was we'll beat Leon. Home, away.
Yes, home, away. We know.
Like I asked you on the show, are you going to pause that, or you're going to erase that first game and ask for a repeat of the first leg?
No.
So where is he? Away.
We wanted to kill them. If not for Onana.
Hold up. You wanted to kill them, if not for Onana.
You forgot you had Onana before you were saying you killed them.
That's not even the case now. So what happened to Newcastle?
No, Onana was supposed to be in goal against Newcastle.
Was supposed to, but it was not.
Yes, due to the family issues, he had to. Then Amorim had to give him days off.
But sorry, did you read anywhere that Andre Onana had family issues?
Yes. His wife and family were robbed a day before the Lyon game.
Oh, I didn't get to read about that. Andre Onana, believe me, my heart goes out to you, and I hope that everyone at home is fine. But now, thank God that you didn't play because Manchester United now don't have an excuse.
Excuse?
Yeah, the excuse against Leon was that Andre Onana. You can say you rested
players now. How do you expect us to win with Eriksen? Sorry, I said it before.
Said what before?
Open heart surgery. It's not easy.
I'm not going to go into that. That's disrespectful. So that's his opinion, not ours on the show. I'd like to ask you. Yeah. Yes, you've watched Manchester United all through this season, and you've had your bitter pieces of argument against Jeremiah here. From an outsider point of view, what exactly do you think is wrong with Manchester United this season?
What is wrong with them this season has been things that have accumulated over time, right from the post-era of Ferguson. So all those issues that happened from then has come to roost. That is it. And like I was saying to someone on the platform I am on, Manchester are showing us ways of regressing. They're just going down. Wait. They are showing us ways. How to regress.
Who wants to regress? Nobody wants to learn that kind of thing.
He said it. They are showing us. Who is the us?
I'm saying now. They are showing you can see now. That is kind of ironical because we're not regressing. So
no, you are learning.
And they are showing those that are relegating now how to regress now. So at least we have people that are going to regulate. So Manchester is their big brother in terms of that because they're a big team. So I mean,
Okay.
so back to what you asked me. Now you cannot really point. You can point to several reasons or several things that are actually wrong with Man U this season. I mean, it's more worse.
I like to not just point. I like to mention one or two.
Okay.
Mention one.
Okay. One, the hierarchy. That's the first thing because they bought the players that are presently there, right? And when they were buying, I remember when they bought Casemiro, 72 million. I was telling Steven that you cannot pay that amount for a 32-year-old that time that he bought him. That was just a waste of money. I told him he already had one good year. I think when he came. After that, he has been washed. So they've really made some bad recruitment over time that is coming to haunt them. Trust me, if Man U had probably, let's assume that the coach is not the issue. Let's just assume. Let's put that one way.
Why? Okay, you want to remove,
assume? Let's assume that's not the
Let's
issue.
keep that first.
Yeah, exactly. Now let's not
Jeremiah,
say.
see your life.
So let's not say now that
comment
they actually
myself.
bought players that actually were good, or they didn't overpay. Now I'm saying if they actually bought players that were actually good, or they did not overpay for players that did not worth the price they paid for. I don't think it would be this worse, regardless of the
Outside
coach.
of Casemiro, how many other Manchester United players are either overpriced or overpaid?
We
for?
can count them now. Højlund is one.
How much did you buy?
72 million
Okay.
is one. A guy that scored 9 goals, 32 games for Atlanta. That was one. Then you talk about, Pukuli now, aka Anthony, that is doing well in Betis, ironically.
I'm going to keep getting mad with everyone who talks about Anthony disrespectfully. Well, anyone who talks about Anthony the way a lot of you talk about him, I'll be mad with you. But I'll get to that in a bit.
Okay. So that is two. Then you could talk about the Onana you bought for 50 million, I think. I mean, how did they get that was there? I was doing well. He's doing well in Fiorentina right now. You wasted that's a waste of money as far as I'm concerned, right? So those are just the three major that I could point out. The others are just Eriksen is just there. I think it came on free. And other players that are there that I could also point on to. So those players were not worth it. Even the Zexi you bought was just you could go to championship and get someone better than even himself, right? So they really made some poor recruitments. That's
the fun. Go to championship.
Yeah, can get someone better than
player better than
Zexi.
And than Zexi.
Yeah, true. You could.
I comment my reserve.
Okay.
I will talk
So
later.
they really made some bad recruitment, and that's what's coming to roots right now. I heard Roy Keane after the game yesterday was like, this team lacks mentality, and Newcastle bullied them. You think about the Man U, one of the best team in the world, not only in England, in the world. So they've really gone from grass to grass, and I don't know where else they can go down to again at this point. And I keep telling people that if this season you don't get out, or this summer you don't get out players, you need to get out to get new players in, this will also continue, because I don't know how. I was reading on Sky Sport and they were saying that Man U is confident that they will get around 200 million to get players that Amorim needs, and I doubt it from player sales now. I doubt who will want Anthony, who will want Malacia, who will want Rashford, those players. So that's just, like I said, one of the major reasons is just bad recruitment. That's what has killed them right now.
Okay, so of all the names that you mentioned, I have a bit of challenge with you mentioning Joshua Zexi, but I will get there. You and I keep going off about Manchester United, off and on. I like to ask you. You've said it before, but I like to ask you again. Kilo shele ganga. From the last time to this time,
Unnecessary.
Okay.
Now, firstly, he said some things that I agree with, and one major reason he talked about is the poor recruitment. Now, back to the players he mentioned, the likes of Rasmus Højlund, Casemiro, and others. Now, Casemiro was bought in for 72 million, agreed, but at that point in time, Erik ten Hag, when he came in, the first player he actually pointed out was Frankie de Jong, that he wanted Frankie de Jong in Manchester United, that they should get in up. And we could not get Frankie de Jong, number one.
Barca were willing to sell?
Barca were at one point ready to sell. At other points, they didn't want to sell. They were just playing us. They were initially not ready to sell him. You understand? And Frankie de Jong, we never speak if he wanted to go to Manchester United because he had a loyalty bonus. And players with loyalty bonus will never mention if they are going to any other team. Like Kylian Mbappe when he was at PSG, he never talked about Real Madrid. Was going to Real Madrid. He just kept on playing them, or let me say, kept on moving with the team, playing on.
No, he had to keep. He kept his contract.
Yes, he just kept.
It's like when you sign an NDA and then you go about start mounting of
You don't do that because of that. There's an agreement. So we literally did not know if the young wanted to come or not. But Barca were just playing us, and time was fast spent. Then the annoying thing was we went in for Casemiro, and Real Madrid is actually price was 35 million. But when we came in, as per se, they've seen that Ed Woodward is coming to negotiate. They increased it. The same thing goes in for Anthony. Anthony price was 40 million. But when we came in, they increased the price because Ed Woodward is I don't know his job at Man U, but he's very, very poor in negotiation.
Okay, and so does that these things you said now, does that justify Mikel Arteta or Arsenal when sometimes they don't pay that much for some players?
Yes.
But then again, people come back.
Look at this board now. In the past summer, we went for Brent White. What was his name? In Everton. They said 100 million. Hold your player. We did not sign him. Leave him. If it was Ed Woodward, we will pay 100 million. The same way we pay 80 for Maguire. You understand? So that is where the problem starts from. Now, back to the players. Anthony is a good player. I won't dispute that. Even right from when he was not performing, I was still backing him that he's a good player. Let me quote you
what you said about Anthony. You said some players are not destined to play for big clubs.
I'm still coming back there. Anthony is a
You agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Anthony is a good player.
Is Anthony on that list?
Of course.
Okay, go on.
He's a very good player.
Not very good, he's a good player.
He's a very good player. He's a good player. At least he has yes, now he has more man of the match in La Liga since he got there. So I can definitely say he's a good player because now when he was at Ajax, we all know what Anthony does, what he can do, his capabilities, his abilities. When he came to Man U, there was a replica of what he was doing too, until
he did that round,
and they started and it
was as if that roundabout thing that he did was turn around his career.
They were just pointing at him. If he does anything wrong, they point at him, forgetting that what's his name? Jack Grealish went 1 year without scoring a goal for Man City, and they bought him 100 million. Nobody ever talked about that.
And he hasn't even over time. He's not even been the best for Manchester City.
We all know
as well.
Jack Grealish is wash. So let's even leave them. Let's talk about
Jack Grealish was the best when he was at Aston Villa.
I'm talking about
that. Could
now.
also buttress the point that you both agreed on, that some players are
not meant to.
Yes, but the problem now is that if you are playing for Manchester United, the media will come for you, and the fact that Mbappe and Haaland picked their form at a very young age, the media now want us to believe that every player must be at their peak at a very young. The way they target these players, you understand?
There's a joke among some of my classmates. I went to Stadium High School in Road, Surulere, and I think after school, was it among my classmates? But there's a joke around my school circle that person will carry first for school. If you know, carry first for university.
Sure.
Definitely.
You understand? And for people to come at players because they have not picked yet. I'll give you an example. You need to look at Ethan Nwaneri came into the Arsenal team, all sparkling, but it's just gone down a bit in recent games. He's not at his best in recent years. Martin Odegaard has not been this season. A little bit towards the end of last season before immediately after his injury. Now this is the truth. We are not going to be 100% all of the time.
Definitely.
That's one. And we all are not going to find our season of harvest at the same time. Some players will be like, some players are annual crop, some are biennial, some are perennial. You know, Lewandowski is one. Exactly. Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. I would say Cristiano right now because what he's doing at that age, either you say Saudi League or not, if he is, go run him. You understand? What he's doing there right now is massive, and that tells you a lot about how players will peak at different periods. And so I am fine with players not peaking early. But the most important thing is if after 2-3 seasons you're not there, then there's a problem.
Yeah,
exactly. So that when it's said talk about Anthony now, that's the thing. Now nobody's going at Anthony for not playing well in 2 or 3 games.
I'm not talking about that. what I was talking about then was that when he was not playing well, then likes of Roy Keane, they started attacking him.
That's my point. It wasn't for one game.
The problem now is that he is a Brazilian for crying out loud. So look at what happened to Memphis at
Memphis Depay.
At Depay. After standing on the ball, then they postulated a law that if you stand on the ball, it's a goal kick, it's a free kick to the opponent and a yellow card to you. Now, where is the football going to?
Wait. It seems as if we're deviating.
No, I'm still coming back there. So they should stop pointing fingers.
No, but
especially Manchester United play. If
no,
you are
hold on.
playing for Man
Okay,
United,
do you know what I'm saying? That because one, if a player comes to a club, maybe he plays for the first 2-3 months not playing well, we get that. But Antonio is not a season; it's 2 seasons now, 2 seasons plus.
When he came in. His first 6 games was massive. Especially he played against Arsenal.
I won't call that massive. He does score the goal.
He did well.
I've got something to say, and I'd like us to run with this, and let's see how we examine it. Now, Anthony came to Manchester United. On the long run, he flopped. It wasn't as good as he was at Ajax. We've seen other players come to Manchester. Marcus Rashford's form dipped terribly. Who else? I'm not going to talk about our French guy, but we've seen players come to Manchester United in recent times, and their form have been excruciatingly painful. And when I looked at it, I'm like, this doesn't look like the player's fault. This is looking like, when I say management now, I'm not talking about administrative management in terms of administration. I'm talking about management in terms of coaching and all of that. And this is the reason why I'm saying that. Either Anthony is mid, either he is super, either he is great. I have never seen the spark that Anthony has at Real Betis. I have never seen that spark in Manchester United while he was there. I have never, but I have never seen, I don't think I have seen Marcus Rashford play with such zest
Recently,
in recent games. In fact, play with such zest, so much zeal, so much purpose, so much focus, like he's doing at Aston Villa. Some people will argue that, hold on.
One more person.
Who's that?
Jadon Sancho.
I'm not going to go to Sancho's case. I'm not going to go to Sancho's case for a lot of reasons. But I will still talk about him. Now, for me, Marcus, a lot of people could say that, they want to prove a point. They have a point to prove. But no, I'm looking at the overall game play. And I'm like, this is not just about proving a point. This is about playing in a team that wants to play with you. This is about playing in a team that wants to play football. This is about playing in a team that knows that they have a mission. There's a lot going on for me that sometimes I look at. And then we are all talking about ex-footballers. I don't think that a lot of, outside of Rio Ferdinand, who sometimes get angry when the games are not going the way of Manchester United.
Patrice Evra.
But I am looking, leave Patrice. I am looking at a lot of Manchester United pundits, ex-Manchester United players who are now pundits, and how they come for Manchester United players, how they first of all condemn every other team, like exactly. Football is pizza, and even making of pizza is not even easy. How they come for these players, how they wash them down. Look, they're forgetting something. Apart from Manchester United investing, other clubs are investing too.
Yes.
Manchester United will never have all the best players in the world. Why? Because those players are under contract. You cannot keep changing players every year. There's a new guy who's living Africa, who's living Asia, who's living Brazil, who's very good, who might even be better than the players you have in your squad, who will not come to Manchester United because the agent didn't see him, who will go to a Newcastle, who will go to a Bolton, who will go to Southampton, who will go to a West Ham, who will go to a Fulham. It will do you the damage there. And football is different. There's enough money in the Premier League for clubs to invest. So I think they need to get off their high horse and understand that the challenges that these players have is no longer like when every quality player wants to come to Manchester United. Nearly every team in the Premier League has enough money to go scout some quality players. So clubs are having quality players. They're also... I don't want to lose it, but the point for me is I don't think that Manchester United ex-players are also helping the team. There's an overall
condemnation. I don't understand.
Excuse me, Gary Neville had a good front.
No.
He's great. He's great. He's a great player.
He was a great.
But he was a great player. Who
Was a good
playing-
player, not great.
No, let's
He was
give
a great
it.
player, yeah.
Let's give him that fact. If you move with great men, you are also likely going to be
Exactly.
great. He was a great player who had other massively great players playing
alongside
with him on
him.
the same team. I mean, it's like looking at how Kyrgios has been playing in recent times for Arsenal. He stepped in. There's a Saliba there to guide him. There's a party there to say we
Exactly.
can do this, and once that happens in a team, there's that overall improvement. I'll give you an example. When Saka was out, Odegaard was poor. Saka is back. Odegaard has slightly improved. Is he at his best yet? No. Etony Nwaneri was Etony Nwaneri for the few games that it's shown, because yes, it was among players who are showing him the ropes. You understand? Look at Martin Lewis Kelly. He came in, he embraced leadership, and he had people to guide him. Why can some of these Manchester United ex do that for the players?
They will not do that. They are getting paid for what they are doing.
The thing is this. What I feel is this. There's a culture. I want a culture shift now, but the culture in Man U needs to change first. That's
was
one
the
thing.
culture.
Now the culture there is some players they are lazy. That's a fact.
Mention some
The
players
coach.
that are lazy. We know they go
I
training.
could,
that's why I
yeah,
said-
training. No, see, it's not about training and you run around. There are things that you do on a personal basis that makes. Look at now. You talked about Ronaldo just now. As old as he is, that guy is still training as hard as if he was 17 or maybe 18.
Yes, you see,
He's working hard. Now,
leave Ronaldo.
no, that I'm saying
Nobody
now.
can match up
Let
that.
me. No, I'm
No
not saying that
football
now.
player can
Let
match
me
up.
let me look at someone like Declan Rice, for instance. Now, the boys' game is improving every season. I'm sure. Like when I was watching this thing on YouTube, the training, an interview with another player and him, and he said that guy is a workaholic. He's a horse. Declan Rice. He works hard. You could say the same for some players in Arsenal too. Now, aside what's his name now? Bruno Fernandes, who's naturally a good player, right? You cannot really
A
point
great
out.
player.
You cannot really point out to other players that are there that you could say, okay, this one's okay. They can also match up in terms of what class as regards who Bruno what is. So the culture I'm talking about there now is not only from the players on field, both like I said from the top down to the coaching crew. Now, when Amorim came here, I know I said something when we were arguing about. If you remember, then we were talking about Ten Hag when he left, when he was there. That you guys said that when Nistelrooy was coaching, I had 3 good games, and I said, see, those 3 games, 4 good
5
games.
games, and all the 1-4 and 1-4 right now. I think drew one.
Fine. Those games, I said, we have seen Man U play that way under Ten Hag. Now I was arguing with you guys that, see, it's not about coaching alone. There's a lot going on with Man U, and I said the players there are not good enough. That's the fact. They are not good enough. Now, sorry, like you said now, the ex-players, like you said, for Man U. Now, fine, I don't agree with everything they say, right? But there are sometimes they say some hard truth or some hard facts, which are truth. When Roy said that the team is not strong mentally enough, that he cannot mention one thing that Man U are good at. Is it defending? Is it controlling games? Is it attacking? Nothing. Like it's zero. Now, a team cannot be that poor that you cannot point out one thing that you say, okay, they are good at.
Can I ask a question?
Talk to me.
Before go, who else should I talk to?